But again, we do know that 2 adult victims, 2 faculty members at East High School were shot earlier today and have been transported to the hospital. Kelly?
Yeah, I was just looking at this update that Denver Public Schools was sharing on Twitter, you know, when it comes to that controlled release that you were speaking of moments ago from Denver Police. So again, they're working on that plan. And as for what time students will begin that controlled release, that is still to be determined. But here's some details that parents will need to know. Once this controlled release begins, again, time to be determined, parents can pick up their children at 17th and Esplanade. Any students who drove themselves to school will be escorted to their cars into the parking lots and can leave from there. Students who rode the bus, they'll be held until their bus arrives. This is all part of a controlled release plan that Denver Police and Denver Public Schools are working on. Of course, as they release more information on when that is expected to begin, we will share that here. But as of late from Denver Public Schools, they say that students are currently being held in what was their third period classrooms.
And we do know the Denver Police Department is setting up a press conference where obviously we will learn more when and bring that to you when that does happen. But, you know, I think I don't want to speak out of turn here, but it certainly looks like this situation is under control, at least as of now. Again, we still have not heard about a suspect, and DPD saying that they don't have one in custody, but they do not believe that he is at the scene. So that obviously hopefully good news as we continue to cover this breaking story outside of East High School. I want to bring in our Jasmine Arenas now. Jasmine, you've been there for about an hour now since we just heard of this breaking news. What can you tell us?
What can you tell us?
Yeah, right now, a lot of parents are shaken up. Students are shaken up. We just spoke to a couple of students who say they're tired of this happening, lockdowns back to back, and they feel that they should even shut down the school because they don't feel safe at this point. Right now, we don't know much about the suspect, but we do know that 2 adults or faculty staff were shot. And right now, we're going to have a press conference in a few minutes to get more information about what's going on. As you can see, everybody is kind of just shaken up. Students just around the school right here, a lot of them expressing that they're hoping things change soon, and if they don't, they feel that they can be next, and it's a real fear that they're feeling right now. So we'll have more details once the press conference does begin, and we'll be sure to let you know about all those details. I'm sending it back to you.
Okay, Jasmine Arenas live for us outside of East High School this morning. Again, if you're just joining us right now on CBS News Colorado, East High School is on lockdown following a shooting. We do know that 2 staff members have been taken to the hospital. They were shot. Denver Public Schools did confirm that with us. We're continuing to work on the situation there at East High School and to learn more about their status. And Kelly, you had some great information for parents who are watching us right now about what's going on. Students obviously in lockdown, however, they are preparing for a controlled release.
Right. So the district is working with the Denver Police Department on what they're calling a controlled release. They don't have an exact time for when that will happen, but the details that the district is sharing with us, parents will be able to eventually pick up their children at 17th and Esplanade. So that's a part of the area that, you know, clearly is going to be blocked off, but it'll be a secure area for parents to get to pick up their students. Any student who drove themselves to school today, they'll be eventually escorted to their cars into the parking lot and can leave from there. Again, once this controlled release does begin, any students who rode the bus, they will be held until their bus arrives, of course, unless, you know, I would imagine students are trying to communicate with their parents if they have any cell phones, right? Like we heard from Joel, who's communicating with his son. So there was an opportunity here eventually when this controlled release begins where parents, if they have the ability to go to the school, go to 17th and Esplanade. That is where students will be able to be picked up by their parents. Otherwise, the other options for students who need to get to their cars or if they will eventually be released and can ride a bus. They're working on a plan between the district and Denver Police to coordinate that. Right now, as you mentioned, Michael, you know, it seems that the situation is secure at the school after they had this lockdown that began just about an hour ago. Denver Police, as you can see in this live video from Copter 4, large presence at East High School. They're working on that controlled release, but they're also working on giving us some details on this suspect that they said they do not believe is there at the scene. So as for where this alleged shooter is, that's something that's a big question that we all want the answer to.
And of course, we have several CBS News Colorado news crews out there for you. We've already heard from Jasmine Arenas and Michael Abeyta. They had the chance to speak to someone who lives nearby about what is going on right now at East High School.
I have basically known this was going to happen at this high school. It's very toxic. I'm sorry to say that. The teachers and the principals know what's going on with the gang warfare, the drugs, and yet they choose to turn a blind eye to it.
Wow, obviously some strong comments there from a Denver resident who, I think, Kelly, like all of us, is just tired and sad of seeing stuff like this and wondering when it might end. And